Well, hello once again, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. I am back, and I am happy to be presenting to you the final two games of the group stage of the 2022 FIFA World Cup on Coach's Corner. As usual, I am your host. Haven't been hosting for quite some time now, but it's wonderful to be back. And today we will be focusing on Serbia playing Switzerland, which should almost certainly be a sort of a knockout game between both teams. And as for Cameroon against Brazil, I know there have been more than a few shocks in the tournament, and Brazil have made more than a few changes, but I seriously cannot see even Brazil's reserves falling to defeat against a Cameroon team for whom winning may give them a chance of qualifying, but it might not be enough. And of course, lest we forget, Switzerland draw should be enough in theory to send them through, but a win will certainly put it beyond doubt. And Brazil only need a draw themselves to be certain of first place in the group. Time for me now to present the team news, of course, courtesy of our dear friends at BBC Sport Online. Firstly, we're going to start with the team news from Serbia versus Switzerland. One change to the Serbia side, of course, who drew with the Cameroon 3-3. Basically, it's sort of an attacking formation with two strikers up front in Dusan Vlahovic and Alexander Mitrovic, with Dusan Tadic, the captain, being a sort of an attacking midfield pivot, if you will, a sort of a 3-4-2-1. So Vanya and Sergei Milinkovic-Savic, of course, playing. Vanya, of course, is the goalkeeper, along with Pavlovic, Velkovic, and Milenkovic in a three-man defense, with Zivkovic and Kostic the wing-backs, and Lukic partnering Milinkovic-Savic in the centre of midfield. As for Switzerland, well, some surprising changes in that the first-choice goalkeeper, Jan Sommer, for some reason is unavailable. I'm not sure if he was suspended from the earlier game, so in comes Gregor Kobel to play his first-ever World Cup match. And with defender Nico Elvedi also out, he's replaced by Fabian Schär in the central defence. Schär, of course, plays for Newcastle. And Fabian Ryder also drops to the bench as Shaqiri returns to the starting 11. So it's basically a 4-2-3-1 with Granit Xhaka and Roman Freuler of Nottingham Forest, and of course Xhaka of Arsenal as the two defensive midfielders in front of the back four. Zerdan Shaqiri, Jibril Sow, and Ruben Vargas are the three-man attacking midfield, along with Cameroon-born Breel Embolo, who, of course, scored the winner against his country of birth. And now we are focusing on the teams coming in for Switzerland against Serbia. Serbia have to go for it tonight. And I'll also be keeping a very keen eye, on Brazil and the Cameroon whenever I can. And speaking of which, we will talk about the team news. There are 5 changes for the Cameroon. Vincent Aboubakar, the captain, makes his first start, replacing Carl Toko Akambi. Eric Choupo-Moting also has a start alongside Brentford's Brian Mbeumo. A 4-2-3-1 here. Collins, Fai, and Tolo are the fullbacks, alongside Wu and Abose in the centre of defence, and Frank and Andre Anguissa, and Pierre Koundé has the defensive midfielders, and Davis Apassi, of course, continues to deputise for the suspended Andre Onana in goal. And for Brazil, it is a very much changed lineup with 9 changes. The likes of Dani Alves and Alex Telles, Gabriel Martinelli, Gabriel Jesus come in, so obviously double interest for the Arsenal fans. Rodrigo, of course, is the central attacking midfielder with Anthony on his right. Fabinho and Fred are the central defensive midfielders. Bremer and Eder Militao are the central defenders. Alex Telles will be the left back. Dani Alves, of course, making history by becoming Brazil's oldest ever World Cup captain at the age of 39. And Edison Moraes starting in goal. Amazing how Dani Alves was originally selected for the squad to be a sort of a babysitter for Neymar, in a way. And for his professionalism, he gets his reward with a start tonight. So, Time to stop sharing and come back to the screen. At the moment, we have the anthems for the countries that are playing, and looks as though Brazil might possibly be playing in their change kit of all blue tonight. I'm not too sure. Anthony Jesus and I saw Martinelli. Neymar is, of course, there. And, of course, a huge banner being raised in honor of the legendary Edson Arantes do Nascimento, better known as Pele. Of course, not doing too well at the moment. Sadly, in hospital, convalescing. We've been told that it's nothing very serious. Thiago Silva, of course, closing his eyes and uttering the anthem. And that is, of course, the 39-year-old Dani Alves, who is a proud captain tonight, reciting his anthem, of course. "39 years old, a veteran of 3 World Cups, 16 years with the Seleção, of course. And yes, they will be in their change strip of blue and what looks like white. And customary handshakes. And of course, Serbia being coached by the former Yugoslavian legend Dragan Stojkovic, now very much a part of the Serbian setup. As expected, a 3-4-1-2. Dusan Tadic is the midfield pivot. Mitrovic and Vlahovic are the 2 strikers. And yes, Brazil are in their change strip of a blue shirt and what looks like white shorts. And customary exchanges between the referees. The referee and the linesman and the players. Okay. So Vincent Abubakar winning the toss, but deciding that he will take the opposite side. Now we come, of course, to the Serbian. Okay, as expected, we'll go through the Brazil lineup. Edson Moraes in goal. Dani Alves, of course, at right back, along with a much changed defense. Fred is the only one who keeps his place, along with Rodrigo. Danilo, Alexandro, and Neymar all injured, so Tite has had to completely rotate his squad. And of course, we come to the Switzerland team, who will, of course, be playing in a sort of a 4-3-3 formation from the looks of it. Sommer and Philip Cohn are both unavailable, so it is Kobel and Omlin who are the 2 goalkeepers. Kobel obviously starting. And we have both captains, of course, wearing the number 10 jersey. Making it very clear that this is it. So obviously with Cameroon and Brazil expected to be a fairly easy victory, we're focusing on what should be a knockout contest between Serbia and Switzerland. And we're underway. Of course, Switzerland have kicked off, and they're attacking from right to left, and they're all white stripped. Change color, of course, because Serbia are wearing all red. And early on, we see some action in the Serbian penalty area. Good save from Vanja Milinkovic-Savic, a double save there from the Serbian keeper in the opening 30 seconds of the game. So already Switzerland have stated their intent, which is to make sure that they attack and attack well. Great work down the right. It was Granit Xhaka who tried to shoot, but ended up meeting a Serbian defender. Embolo had a shot which was saved by Milinkovic-Savic, and Xhaka's follow-up was also saved. But it is Embolo in the penalty area. It is Ruben Vargas who tried to run in, but he couldn't get a hold of that. And that will be passed back to the third goalkeeper, or second goalkeeper rather, Gregor Kobel. I believe he plays for Borussia Dortmund in Germany. Several Swiss goalkeepers, of course, have plied their trade over there. Rodriguez trying to get into the penalty area, but that is cleared. Making sure I get the ticker working, and yeah, so Serbia can continue to so Milinkovic passes it back to Vanja Milinkovic-Savic. A surprising selection of Serbia's goalkeeper, but he certainly earned his crust by being a very dominating presence. Probably not quite at fault for Cameroon's 3 goals. I mean, he's conceded 5 in this stage, but he's otherwise provided a very solid presence with his height. It is Veljkovic who tries to play it forward, passes it to Pavlovic, the other defender in the 3-man attack. Lukic now, back to Veljkovic. Milenkovic, who can try and sort of charge down there by Ruben Vargas, passes it back to his goalkeeper, who tries to send it forward. Some more head tennis going on, if you will. And finally, it's brought down and cleared away by Switzerland. Number 14 is Zivkovic, who can certainly cause some problems on the wing and in the midfield. That is, of course, played forward. It is with Dusan Tadic, the Serbian captain. Passed to Sergej Milinkovic-Savic, who passed it back. It's now with Lukic, of course. And now Milenkovic. All the way to Zivkovic on the wing. Back to Veljkovic. Milinkovic-Savic plays it forward. Number 17, Kostic, can try and cross it in, but that is headed away by Akanji. Manuel Akanji, of course, number 5 for Switzerland. Also plays his club football for Manchester City. Dusan Tadic now on the left, trying to play that forward, but ends up winning a corner out of it. So, first test for the new Swiss goalkeeper, Gregor Kobel. Wearing the number 21 jersey tonight. I'm not really fond of the number 21 jersey for a goalkeeper. For me, it's either 22 or 23. aside from one, anything else ending in one doesn't seem right. But it is Tadic with the corner, left-footed away swinger. And that was headed down by Milenkovic, but ended up falling away quite safely. Yeah, basically not quite straight on. Couldn't get that on target. And Gregor Kobel's first touch of the ball will be to take a goal kick. So obviously Embolo there not able to control that shot. Straight at Vanya Milinkovic-Savic, who made himself big. And then, of course, the follow-up from Granit Xhaka also saved. So certainly looked quite impressive, even if he hasn't been able to move quite well. Just want to check and see if there are any comments. Yep, onto the ball. Thank you for joining in. Football Ferreira, you were here earlier. Vamos, vamos. And of course, I hope you will be rooting for Brazil. Now, I will, of course, be adding the link to the chat. Any of you want to join in and have your say, as always, let's be having you. Back to the action now, and Switzerland win a throw in. Old enough, of course, to remember Dragan Stojkovic as a star midfielder for the then Yugoslavia. And obviously their political issues meant that the country couldn't really progress as a nation. They were, in fact, supposed to qualify for Euro 92, and they did so in style over Denmark, but then their issues meant that they had to be taken away from the championship, and Denmark, who played in their place, went on to win. Just goes to show. Doesn't matter how you get the opportunity, as long as you make the most of it. Catch claimed there by Vanya Milinkovic-Savic. Who is, in fact, the younger brother of Sergei. Murat Yakin, also a former international with Switzerland. And it is with Gregor Kobel now, who wants to try and play that forward. And that is played forward, obviously, by Akanji. And not really a fine attempt to get some action in. And Zerdan Shaqiri will have his work cut out tonight. Rather sedate so far with 8 minutes gone. And after those two early attempts on goal, Switzerland have been really, really quiet. And really that should be... Well, it was kept in play quite well by Sergei Milinkovic-Savic, but again, that shot falling straight into Kobel's arms, quite harmless, really. Some head tennis going on. And finally, Serbia can try and attack. That was Pavlovic there, who tried to play it forward, ended up being impeded. And Kostic now with the throw. Sending it to Tadic. Lidma is trying to, well, Tadic does really well, but I mean, that somehow rolls all the way along the line. And a lot of drama over there, and eventually the referee awards a goal kick. Well, it's Tadic and Vidma there who are going through a bit of a tussle. And Tadic doing some really good work to keep that more or less on the line. And of course, That has to go completely beyond the line for it to be ruled out. Pass back to Vanya Milinkovic-Savic, who sends it forward. Sergei Milinkovic-Savic, Pavlovic, Velkovic. Crossfield pass all the way to Zivkovic, who can work it down the right wing. Terrific pass, which finds Tadic. Pass back to Zivkovic, who can shoot and hit the post. Well, well, well. Now it's Serbia's turn to getting on the action. And Gregor Kobel there having a rather nervy moment, but surviving to tell the tale. And Switzerland can now attack, but again, that's really good defending by Velkovic, I believe. But it is with Granit Xhaka now. But all the way down to Ricardo Rodriguez. Back to Xhaka. Back to Holt. Sorry, not Holt. Kobel. Oh, well, I was thinking there. Sometimes, if I feel a bit tired, my brain starts to freeze. Think of something else. Zivkovic passing it to Velkovic. And Lukic plays it forward, actually across to the left. It is with Tadic now. And Kostic, who played it back to his captain, could move forward. But Akanji there, once again, outstanding in the center of defense. So once again, the game plan seems to be to choke supply to Mitrovic. But with Dusan Vlahovic also up top, Serbia have a bit of a double threat, if you will. Velkovic, Milenkovic, Zivkovic, who passes it back to Milenkovic, trying to play it forward now. And that is intercepted, and that should be a Serbia throw. So around about time now, with 12 minutes gone, to check on what's happening in the... Actually, we're going to see some highlights of the shot from Zivkovic, which beat Kobel, all ends up, and ended up coming off the post. And basically, both the Serbian attackers were in two minds as to what to do. Didn't expect it to come out to them. Milenkovic, I think, claiming a handball. Not really getting it. It is Vanya, dressed in all black, who will send this ball, try and send it long, rather. In addition to wearing all black, he's also wearing those black leg warmers, or stockings, if you will. Not sure why he'd want to do that. Maybe to improve circulation in his legs. We'll see. Jibril Sow getting in on the act. Fabian Schär playing it to Elvedi, back to Schär. I mean, not Elvedi, Vidma. Elvedi is out, I forgot. Now it's with Embolo, who can try and run forward. Turns past Milenkovic and gets it to Ruben Vargas down on the left. Try and lay it back in, but basically hitting the Serbian defense like a ball hitting a pinball machine. And at the other end, Akanji passes it back to Kobel, who lays it off to Rodriguez. Well, it does have the makings of a rather cagey game, but it can burst into life when you least expect it. Great interception there from Granit Xhaka. And once again, it's Xhaka who gets it to Ruben Vargas on the left wing. But good defending from Serbia before the shot can be taken. And now it's Kostic down the left against Vidma. And Kostic wins that battle quite easily. It's a needless booking for Vidma there, because a lot of talking to going on over there. Sylvan Vidma, the number 3, going into the book. Kostic has looked quite lively down the left. And wrestling move over there, which warranted a yellow card. And Stojkovic in particular made it crystal clear that he wasn't happy with that. Tadic now with the free kick. Trying to find his man. Left-footed away swinger, and that is cleared. And that should be a throw into Serbia. Oopsie daisies. Kostic to take it. Now it's with Lukic. Blankovic. Lukic trying to send it forward, but met with a brilliant header. And now Serbia can try and play it forward through Pavlovic. It is Pavlovic now who's overlapped brilliantly, but some desperate Swiss defending from Freuler concedes a corner. Tadic to take the corner. Easily headed away. Got some voices inside my head at the moment. Don't know if I really feel up to it, but I guess I'll be okay once I've had a drink or two. Maybe some water. Tadic. He's done well so far, and still in the Swiss penalty area, but eventually cleared away. And I think after those first 2 shots on goal, Switzerland haven't been able to produce any kind of attacking intent. It's been Serbia who's provided all the one-way traffic, but Switzerland can look to counter-attack now through Briel Embolo. And no foul rules of the referee. Play on is the call. I really don't like these periods of radio silence. I really should apologize to all of you. I'm feeling a little bit tired, but you know, it is what it is. Veljkovic passes it back to his goalkeeper, Vanja Milinkovic-Savic. Tadic passing it along to Kostic down the left, who's been, once again, absolutely brilliant. Trying to get it in, but Chris, defender, that way. I mean, what was I saying? Sort of clears that away. Once again, Kostic showing his speed, leaving Sylvan Vidma for dead, and of course Vidma dare not get another booking. Ricardo Rodriguez, Vargas. And it's in the Serbian penalty area now. Could we see a chance? Yes, we have a goal. And it is Zerdan Shaqiri, the number 23, who scores past Serbia's number 23, Vanja Milinkovic-Savic. So The Swiss will be quite happy with that. Obviously, it means that they will certainly secure their passage through. And this is his fifth goal in his 11th World Cup game for his country. Basically, a lot of pinball going on. A nice pass back there to uh, Shaqiri, who saw that open space. Not basically not able to clear that corner effectively. Gibril Sal then laying it off to Shaqiri, who takes a nice shot. Must have gone through a couple of defenders. Yep, in fact, it took a deflection of Pavlovic before heading into the net. Well, that goal's actually been mentioned as having taken place on the 20th minute. I'm just going to change the ticker. I'll take a look now at what's happening in the Brazil game. At the moment, it's Gibril Sal to Granit Xhaka. Well, he had enough space that he could shoot, but he obviously wanted to try and lay it back. And that was a tame shot into the arms of Vanja Milinkovic-Savic, who there won't be too much complaint. Milinkovic. Actually, Milinkovic now. Trying to pass that to Vlahovic, but sort of overrun. But Switzerland concede a free kick. And so this isn't good news for Serbia, who needed to win today, mind you. But if they lose, they are out. And Switzerland will almost likely secure their passage into the next round. Milenkovic, who plays that across the field to another Serbian attack down the left. And a huge header there, which goes high, comes down, doesn't trouble Greta Kobel at all. Ricardo Rodriguez. Another Swiss attack now, this time with Ruben Vargas. Brilliant through ball. The keeper's come for it. And the referee has awarded no penalty because didn't believe that there was an infringement on Gibril Sal there. But some great work again from the Switzerland midfield, able to find the gaps quite perfectly. And there really was no penalty for that. Soft decision it would have been. But again, Switzerland win the ball back. It is with Granit Xhaka. Embolo. I'll check what's happened now in the Brazil game. Any goals? Surprisingly, no goals. Let's see Gabriel Martinelli running down the right, but nobody able to get on that grass. Crossfield pass. Now sending it forward. So Switzerland actually have 4 attempts on target. despite the fact that Serbia have had perhaps slightly more possession. That quality in the final third might perhaps be lacking, although they do have two strikers up front. More and more cagey action. I don't necessarily know Switzerland have any designs of topping the group themselves, but for what it's worth, they now have a difference of 0. So they'll probably need to score some more goals. And looks as though Serbia have just equalised. You cannot blink in this game. And it is that man Mitrovic who's just provided the goods, but are they checking to see if it's good? Kind of hard to say at this point. So this is Mitrovic's 6th World Cup game and his 3rd goal. So Mitrovic sort of meeting that perfectly with his head and sending that beyond Gregor Kobel. Terrific cross, terrific header. The Swiss replacement keeper had no real chance. And you can see how much that means to Mitrovic. And so Switzerland have got to do it all over again. I'll just change the ticker. Okay, hope you can all hear me now. Never underestimate the importance of a fan to help you stay awake. A little bit sleepy, really, and it's back with Serbia now, passing it to Vanja Milinkovic-Savic, and obviously that goal will have brighten their spirits a little bit. Lukic to Milenkovic, Mitrovic, Zivkovic, back to Milenkovic. Now Mitrovic is almost everywhere on the field, trying to get himself more involved. A misplaced pass though, and Switzerland can try and attack. And that is with Kostic, who is once again terrorising Silva down the left, but Roman Freuler comes to his rescue. And the referee awards a Swiss free kick anyway. So, some good work there releasing the Serbian player, who crossed it perfectly for Mitrovic to head home. Kobel really had no chance there. Not even Sommer himself would have saved that. Maybe Sommer would. And you can see how happy Stojkovic is. Akanji plays that out to Vidma. Playing it back to Fabian Shah. And now Rodriguez trying to play it forward. Finds the Swiss player perfectly. And that is just wide. Well, it's Shaqiri again who scored the opener. A perfect through pass. And is there a case of an offside perhaps? It's kind of hard to say from this angle. Was his arm offside? And yeah, just not quite getting that on target. Probably have troubled Vanja Milinkovic-Savic, but in the end, it's a goal kick. Just over half an hour gone. Let me see if there's any goals in this game. Surprisingly, still no goals. So Cameroon and Brazil are still at 0-0. Well, Switzerland after that really good start now have it all to do. Got to try and find an opening somewhere. Sylvain Vidma with the throw. Who does he find? He finds Jibril Sow, who heads it forward, but there's some more head tennis going on. Finds Embolo, finds Sow, and that should be easily dealt with by Pavlovic. Does he keep it in play? No, he doesn't. He concedes a Switzerland throw. Well, this corner may very well be the chance. Throw-in may very well be the chance for Switzerland to try and get back into the Serbian penalty area, and certainly trying to find their target. But that pass, of course, from the right, Shaqiri, of course, sending it really, really long and high. Vargas couldn't get on the end of that, and that is the Serbian goal kick. And those shoulders of support on either side. Savic with that goal kick, sending it quite long. Headed up by Mitrovic. And of course it is with Mitrovic now. Can he send it forward to Kostic? No, he decides to pass it back to Sergej Milinkovic-Savic. It's now with Zivkovic, who can certainly cross it forward. That one had a little bit too much curl on that. And Mitrovic wasn't really going to get on the end of that. Goal kick Switzerland. Well, at least Mitrovic is able to appreciate the pass that was meant for him. Didn't quite go through. And Greg Hobel has looked decent, but he's no Jan Sommer. Foul committed there. And Ruben Vargas receiving a needless booking, really. Sort of hacking down Zivkovic, if you will. Andrija Zivkovic, the right winger. It will be Lukic who takes that free kick, sort of lays it off really for Mladenovic, who passes it back to him, and now Sasa Lukic can pass it all the way across the field, but that is given away. And Switzerland obviously trying to make something out of attack, but that's also given away, and Serbia can attack now. Does he find Vlahovic in the penalty area? Yes, he does! And Serbia are now 2-1 up. Dusan Vlahovic in the 35th minute, and it's all going haywire for Switzerland. Well, clearly Dragan Stojkovic's decision to start with 2 strikers instead of 1 is paying off quite well, because Serbia now find themselves 2-1 up, and in with a pretty good chance of somehow qualifying. 10th goal for Serbia, but his first ever World Cup goal. What a time to score it, indeed. You can see clearly that the defence was just not able to deal with both Tadic and Vlahovic there. It was not too sure who played that awful pass. We'll find out who it is sooner or later. That was Roman Freuler there, who pretty much had the assist for that goal, if you will. An own assist, shall we say? And basically poking it past Kobel, who wasn't able to get down in time. So the Swiss fans can't watch. So Serbia 2, Switzerland 1. Dusan Vlahovic with the goal in 35 minutes. 9 minutes to go in this half, plus stoppage time. So, as a Serbian coach, I think Stojkovic will be quite happy with the way things have gone. Happy that his selections have borne fruit so far. As for Murat Yakin, well, he's got a lot of thinking to do. Andrea Jusovic right now with the throw. And once again, my head's starting to droop a little bit. And as things stand in Group G, those 2 goals for Serbia have pretty much put them second in the rankings in Group G, with Switzerland dropping down to 3rd. So Switzerland need a draw. Serbia now have to Switzerland rather have to try and play it out. Akanji to Xhaka, who plays it to Sal. Fabian Shah. I wonder if all of those changes that Murat Yakin has made have pretty much mucked up the chemistry of the side. Might never know. And Rodriguez now in the penalty area. Keeps that in play. But still it's with Switzerland. And a shot there from Vargas, but Pavlovic gets in the way of that. Wonderful to see bodies being thrown on the line. End-to-end stuff in this game so far. Absolutely enjoying it. I only wish that my commentary was a lot better, but really the drowsiness, as Britney Spears would say, my drowsiness is killing me. Crossfield pass all the way to Ricardo Rodriguez, and he's not able to control that. Well, some highlights there. Pavlovic celebrating as if he'd scored. Certainly, if you're a defender, you really want to make sure you get really stuck in. Any updates on the Cameroon-Brazil game? Still no goals. Was he Samuel Eto'o there in the stands? So 6 minutes until half-time. Plus stoppages, of course. And the Switzerland fans are just going to have to wait a little bit longer. drowsiness once again, but Serbia looking dangerous. Kostic with the throw. All the way to Tadic, who's certainly popped up everywhere tonight. And obviously with the classic hymns, some complained that the final touch would have been that. I mean, and I'm not too sure you can compare on those things. Sylvan Vidman now. 5 minutes to go before half-time, plus stoppages. Oh, boy. Switzerland now trying to create an attack. If they can score and then go into the half-time at 2-0, that would suit them just fine. At the moment, of course, they're staring down the abyss of going out of the competition. Embolo there trying to get a chance, but Vanja Milinkovic-Savic says no thank you, not today. So what will Vanja Savic do? Rolls it out all the way to Pavlovic. Tries to send it forward. And the Swiss free throw-in comes from that. Then Shaqiri, another one of Switzerland's old guard, who is informed. Akanji, Rodriguez, back to Akanji. Over to Granit Xhaka, who plays that to Sylvan Vidma. Can certainly cross it. It's received by Breel Embolo, and an attempted layoff over there ends up in the back pass to Vanja Milinkovic-Savic, but Arsenal still have the ball. Crossfield pass over there, which attempts to find Rodriguez, who keeps it in play, but at the cost of giving the ball away. Serbia can now play that out. About 2 minutes left, plus stoppages, of course, so really, Serbia and Switzerland cannot afford to take this lightly. Serbia have done really well so far, and if it stays this way, Switzerland could be out. But it's Switzerland on the attack through Sau, who passes it to Rodriguez, and Rodriguez really needed to flight that one and put it in the penalty area. And that should go through to Gregor Kobel. Easy as you like. And once again, Kobel can attack. It's end-to-end stuff over here between Serbia and Switzerland. And Switzerland have equalised. Breel Embolo on 44 minutes. Exactly what the doctor ordered, and the Cameroonian-born striker is definitely showing his worth. So Breel Embolo on 44 minutes, just before half-time. Best possible time to score a goal. And, of course, the celebration and the stoppage means that more time will be added. The stoppage at the end of the first half. I'm assuming, though, it might be no more than 2 minutes. His second goal in 3 matches in this tournament. He's certainly taken this tournament like a duck to water. Obviously, Switzerland trying to come in through the centre. Shaqiri outstanding, passing it to Gibril Sau. Embolo is onside, springs the trap quite nicely, and easy tap in there. No chance for the goalkeeper. Back to square two, or in this case, square one. Definitely back to square one for as far as Serbia are concerned, because having done some amazing work to take the lead, they now find themselves in the very rare prospect of getting nothing out of it. And a little bit of a tussle there between Akanji and Vlahovic. And I don't know if that's the half-time whistle. I think it is. Let's take a look at... yeah, there are 3 minutes of time added on. As I said, it would be about 3. And Serbia are going to try and make one final attack or two before the end of the first half. They were sitting pretty, but it just goes to show you one goal can change everything, as it so proved earlier on today when the Uruguayans were absolutely cock-a-hoop and dreaming about a second-round matchup against Brazil, in all likelihood, which was just beckoning, only for South Korean Wang Hee-chan to conjure up a magnificent late win over South Korea against Portugal, which meant that Uruguay had to score an extra goal, and they couldn't do it. And so in these remaining 2 minutes, what can either side do? Well, obviously, with a pass like that, you're not going to score a goal, and doesn't seem to be any hurry for Serbia to... like this kid. Oh, man. Once again, the brain freeze coming in. The drowsiness is killing me. I do apologize to all of you, and as such, we don't have anyone in the comments. But once again, the link's in the chat. If you want to join in at halftime and have your say, by all means do so. I will be happy to have you. It's amazing how the tactics that some coaches use during qualifying are almost ditched for a different approach once you get to the tournament. I don't think that you want to stick to what you know best. Tadic down the left, and an attempt to try and create a shot there. I think, were they appealing for a penalty? The referee says nothing doing. And do we have any goals between Cameroon and Brazil? Well, there's a chance there. Might have to take a look at that in the highlights package, but nothing so far between these two teams, and they have 4 minutes of stoppage time. And the referee has, in fact, blown the half-time whistle. Zerdan Shaqiri, of course, setting Switzerland on their way with a good strike. Only for Mitrovic to reply with a header. Dusan Vlahovic coming up trumps with a terrific strike, but then Briel Embolo bringing both sides level. At half-time, it's Serbia 2, Switzerland 2, all to play for in the next 45 minutes. And it will finish, I'm certain, 0-0 between the Cameroon and Brazil. So, just finished, in fact. So, probably not the best result if you... an English purist, if you will. What am I talking about, English purists? Like I said, the next 45 minutes are going to be really, really crucial, but I will, of course, change these tickers. And I'll just take a little break from you all, and I will be back very shortly. And I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you once again for tuning in. Appreciate. Once again, I'm really sorry if there are people who are just sort of turned off, really. But obviously going to focus a great deal on highlights of the Serbia-Switzerland game, which is the main game of interest, really. Cameroon and Brazil really can't look beyond Cameroon win or even a draw that will be enough to ensure that Brazil qualify as group winners. Showing highlights, of course, of the goals from the Serbia-Switzerland game. Shaqiri, of course, some excellent work from Rodriguez down the left and cleared out, but Jibril Sow laying it on a plate for Zerdan Shaqiri. Took a slight deflection, of course, off Pavlovic, which probably deceived the keeper, but a well-earned goal, and Switzerland were on their way. But a good interception there from Kostic, and it was the captain Tadic who laid on a plate for Mitrovic to be able to equalise. Actually, it was Kostic who did that. Good interplay between Tadic and Kostic there. It was Tadic who, in fact, sent Kostic on his way. And brilliantly worked goal that. Gregor Kobel having no chance. You can see the sign of the cross being made. Now, it's quite pertinent to note that both of Serbia's goals came from defensive mistakes. Roman Freuler there gifting it to Dusan Vlahovic on a plate, and all Vlahovic had to do was just stick it in the far corner beyond Kobel's reach. And Serbia were flying and dreaming of a possible win, which would have taken them through at Switzerland's expense. But fine strike, really, which sort of wrong-footed Kobel, who had committed to his right, but saw the shot go to his left. But then just before the half-time break, the outstanding Shaqiri finding Jibril Sow and laid on a plate quite nicely by Vidma for Breel Embolo. And you can see that that's how much it meant to him. And we are also going to take a look at any possible chances for Embolo's former countrymen who are playing Brazil right now. Silvan Vidma there with the assist. And Milinkovic-Savic in goal was well and truly beaten. So, even possession, almost an equivalent number of passes attempted. 84% pass completion for Switzerland to 80% for Serbia. Serbia have had 2 corners, but not really been able to do very much with them. And of course, Switzerland had a couple of attempts on target in the first 30 seconds, both of them, of course, saved by the Serbian keeper, who's certainly been quite busy. And we'll, of course, certainly be trying to look for highlights of the Brazil-Cameroon game if we can get them. And yep, here we are. Brazil, of course, playing in the change strip of blue and white. A header there from Gabriel Martinelli, but a brilliant save from Davis Apassi there. Martinelli was found free on the left and certainly had a head on target, but the keeper there earning his stripes. Advantage being played, and another chance this time for Anthony down the right. And Apassi once again earning his crust. Martinelli certainly been quite outstanding and certainly forced Apassi into denying him, and you could see Well, the channel I'm watching is showing pictures of people watching in India who are fans of Brazil and just wondering how Brazil have not been able to score. So Brazil haven't really had to do too much, but they certainly would have liked to have scored a few more goals. And we have a comment here. Looks like a new subscriber. Hello there. And if you want to come on and have your say, here's the link. Do click the link. I will expect you. I'll be waiting for you. We'll be looking for you backstage. And if you're backstage, I'll let you come on and have your say. And I see you're supporting Switzerland, and obviously you must be a pretty big fan of Granit Xhaka, I would imagine. Of course, as an Arsenal fan, I'd be hoping for him to, do the business and make sure that he secures a second round clash with Cristiano Ronaldo's Portugal. That would certainly be a crunch contest indeed. Two European sides who have had good results in more recent tournaments. Another reminder, the link's in the chat. Do please click this link or copy and paste this link into your browser. I will look for you backstage. But in the meantime, this is how it stands. Shaqiri 20, Bello 44. And of course, Mitrovic 26, Vlahovic 35. Obviously, Hanno insists on making sure that the complete goal scorers are mentioned, so as long as I remember the timings, that should be enough. Okay, that's fine. I mean, if you want to just say whatever you want in the chat, that's perfect. I mean, I want to thank you for coming on, and of course, I am mainly covering this Serbia-Switzerland game, but will be providing some updates on the score from the Cameroon-Brazil game. And obviously, when you take a look at the highlights, it's been mainly Brazil. Only 3 decent chances, including a Dani Alves free kick. Gabriel Martinelli from Arsenal has certainly been quite lively. Shouldn't be long before Brazil are able to break the deadlock. One thing I can say about the Cameroon is that they've recovered from that whole Andre Onana controversy to, make sure they perform well as a tight unit. So certainly should be an interesting game. But here we are, Serbia against Switzerland. Certainly a knockout game for both teams. And you reckon Xhaka will score a winner? Well, I'll tell you what, Xhaka has actually been one of the, main players, if you will, sort of the engine room that's kept, Switzerland ticking, if you will. And he will almost certainly have a big role to play. Just seeing right now some of the substitutes warming up. And of course, now we got the players who are in the tunnel. Hard to say who either Dragan Stojkovic or Murat Yakin will bring on. You see the back of Vanja Milinkovic-Savic's head. Got a bit of a scar there, but certainly his height is a big factor as to why he's starting ahead of Dimitrovic and Rakovic, the other backup keepers, who have quite a bit more experience than him. I'm sure you'd want to see Dusan Vlahovic at Arsenal. might not sit well with Granite with all the controversies between their nations. Yeah, you got a good point there. And, Granite obviously feels very strongly about the whole situation. He and Shaqiri have a bit of a history, really, with Serbia and Kosovo. So, I mean, it's certainly an option, but I think that might have to wait until possibly the end of the season, if and when we're able to win the Premiership or at the very least qualify for the Champions League. See the players now coming out onto the field. The Swiss do have a good-looking strip. Stojkovic now, of course, giving Vlahovic instructions. Stojkovic himself was a fine midfielder back in his day. About 30 years ago, of course. Those days are now long gone. Need to change the spelling of Shaqiri. There's no U after the Q. There is an I after the Q. So I'm after the Q, not you. All right, enough. Someone needs to come at me with a tranquilizer gun. And Serbia have now kicked off, and they are attacking from right to left. Serbia, of course, are wearing their red strip, while Switzerland are in their change white strip, of course. And no changes as of yet to the teams. Yeah, listen, with regard to that question, I think that's something that you and I might have to speak about on another day. I mean, we've already had a lot of, talk about politics. Obviously, when it comes to the genocide, any genocide is absolutely evil. And people who, glorify in doing that should not be, celebrated in any way. So I hope that answers your question. Well, Serbia now trying to play it forward. Pass back to Vanja Milinkovic-Savic now. All the way to Velkovic. Plays it out to Pavlovic on the left. And that is intercepted, but Serbia get it back and they can try and play it forward. Got some picture problems right now, so yep, that's sorted. And Granit Xhaka had the ball, but was rather aggressively tackled there. And that will be a booking for Sergei Milinkovic-Savic. Xhaka, of course, was trying to work his way through the center on the left, but yep, not really getting the ball, really focusing more on hacking Xhaka down. And that is a well-deserved booking. So they can still try and play it forward. The Swiss. It is with Sylvain Widmer, who provided that assist for the equalizer from Briel Embolo. Shaqiri passing it back to Manuel Akanji. And that is played all the way to Rodriguez, who plays it forward. Trying to find Embolo, and it is with Embolo now. Probably might be better passing back to Shaqiri. Once again, another crisp pass in the penalty area, and Switzerland have taken the lead. And Roman Freuler, who was guilty of an assist for Dusan Vlahovic's goal, which put them ahead, has now managed to put Switzerland ahead all by himself. So, 48th minute. Roman Freuler. Whoops, let me change the scoreline properly. And there are goals in this game. I'm so glad that we are bringing it to you. And this is the scoreline right now. Serbia 2, Switzerland 3. Roman Freuler on 48 minutes. I think as of now, I'll probably just focus on the current scorers and then have all the scorers come in at the very end, sort of avoiding clutter there. But yeah, some great work there once again by Shaqiri, who's pretty much been at the heart of everything. Beautiful chip. Found Vargas, who laid it on nicely for Freuler on a plate. Excellent little back heel there. Terrific positional awareness. And Freuler saying, thank you very much indeed, mate, and sending that right into the corner with Milinkovic-Savic going the wrong way. And with that goal, it now means that Serbia now have to do it all over again. Can they get 2 more goals? Or will they come undone? Yeah, glad you agree. Xhaka is a better player than Sergei Milinkovic-Savic. Wouldn't get why Arsenal fans want him. Well, I mean, we also might have to consider how long Xhaka has at Arsenal. And if he suddenly were to decide to leave with another club wanting him, Milinkovic-Savic wouldn't be too bad an option, especially if he could be decent cover. But again, when it comes to the political history you've mentioned, it might be fair to say that Xhaka wouldn't really be too welcoming of either Vlahovic or Milinkovic-Savic. But it's sad that politics comes into it. But that's the way it is. Politics and sports always mix, whether we like it or not. And yep, that was a fine goal indeed, and I'm glad you're enjoying it. I really am. And I'm really grateful to you for keeping me company. We can certainly, as you've said, keep chatting. And I'm still, keeping my eye on the game and just taking a look at what's going on. Rodriguez with the throw in to Xhaka. Rodriguez now can win another throw in. Rodriguez, of course, having played over 100 internationals for Switzerland, one of the senior and more respected members in the team, more experienced, certainly. Getting into a bit of a tussle there with Andrei Zivkovic, but Zivkovic should be okay. That's a pass back to Akanji, who passes it all the way to Sylvan Vidmer on the right. Shaqiri, Vidmer, Fabian Schär can hoof that forward. No one's on the end of that, and Vanya Milinkovic-Savic can control that and pass it to Pavlovic on the left. It is back with Pavlovic from Sergei Milinkovic-Savic, and Vanya Milinkovic-Savic clears that. Headed by Vargas, Sal, and Akanji now can pass that to Schär. He's had a fairly decent game in the centre of the Swiss defence, a Newcastle player. Granit Xhaka now, continuing to pull the strings. That is with Ricardo Rodriguez, Jibril Sal. Rodriguez again, trying to send it forward. And Xhaka, actually there was Roman Freuler there who was on the left trying to run and get it, but ending up losing out. Freuler, of course, with that goal. Pavlovic clearing it out. And basically sort of cluttering into Pavlovic there. Briolembolo being a little bit too exuberant. Once again, that assist from Ruben Vargas was absolutely magnificent. The sort of a back heel which kind of set it up quite nicely. And Jibril Sal sort of, distracting the Serbian defender. And you can see how much that means to the Swiss. Now 3-2 up. And looking in good course. And remember, of course, a draw will be enough for Switzerland. Brazil, of course, know that a draw for them will see them qualify as group winners anyway. But they will still want to try and at least score a goal. Kostic now passes it back to Pavlovic for Serbia. And that is sent forward. Well, Vlahovic wanted to try and get that, but couldn't. Kostic heading it back in, but Once again, nothing doing. And that is, of course, played forward right now. Mitrovic laying it on for Tadic, who was fouled. And will that be a yellow card for the Switzerland captain, Granit Xhaka? Sort of getting into a tangle with his counterpart there, sending Tadic tumbling. Tadic has so far had 10 receptions between the midfield and defensive lines, tying, of course, with Breel Embolo. And looks as though Serbia are making a couple of substitutions. It is the number 8, Nemanja Gudel, who is coming on, along with the number 11, Luka Jovic. And they are replacing Vlahovic and what looks like well, a show of absolutely poor professionalism. I can't find the other one. Ah, yes, Velkovic has gone off, yes. So maybe some like-for-likes there. And immediately after the substitution, some activity in the Swiss penalty area, but Fabian Schär coming to the rescue. Filip Kostic now with the throw inside the penalty area, but basically triple teamed, and Switzerland can get that away. But and this time it's the Serbians who concede a foul, a poor foul there, conceded by Strahinja Pavlovic. And that second yellow card means that he will, in fact, miss the next game, should, of course, Serbia qualify. So now, of course, if you don't get any bookings in this game, I'm pretty certain that all yellow cards are wiped clean. But Switzerland have more problems now. Looks like a handball committed there by Sasa Lukic. And a free kick to Switzerland. So certainly not a direct free kick in that sense of the word. Certainly won't be powerful enough to score beyond Vanja Milinkovic-Savic. Of course, I do seem to remember 20 years ago a certain free kick by a certain Brazilian forward, which caught a certain England goalkeeper unawares. It was an attempt to cross the ball, regardless of what that attacker says. So a quick free kick taken short. Akanji trying to play that into the penalty area. He finds someone else, and it's Embolo again. And how did Breel Embolo miss that? That was very nearly Switzerland 4, Serbia 2, and game over. Once again, great work there. I think it might have been the case that Embolo was offside. But still, I mean, you've got to hit the target from that position with that opportunity. Just chipping that really over the bar. And can Serbia respond? Well, they get a free kick. Tadic once again being fouled. And it will be the captain, Dusan Tadic, to take it. There's been a lot of goals in this game, and I'm really glad to be following this particular game. Tadic from the left. It's actually a short one, laid off to Filip Kostic, who very nearly found Sergej Milinkovic-Savic, but the ball was a bit too far for him, and that's gone out for a goal kick. So pretty well-worked move there, because obviously everyone was expecting Tadic to whip that in. Instead, he laid it off for Filip Kostic, who whipped it in even better, but perhaps a little bit too well, because Sergej couldn't get on the end of that. So Switzerland are once again trying to play it forward. A crossfield pass to Shaqiri on the right. And can't get through Pavlovic. Kostic now. Tadic. Sergei Milinkovic-Savic. The substitute, Gudera, who's slotted into the defense. And that is passed forward, but Switzerland can clear that well enough. Take a look and see if there are any comments. What's the time for me? Well, I'm actually based over here in India, so it's about 1:45 my time. Kevin Smith's in the chat in the second half. Yeah. I've got that. Okay, my bad. Are you happy now, Kevin Smith? You don't need to be rude. And we see once again some more action. Milinkovic-Savic in goal, sort of catching that and preventing an attack there. But Serbia coming back, trying to find a pass through. It is with Kostic now down the left, whipped right in. It finds the substitute, number 11. And it's Tadic now who can have a shot, but that goes over. And yeah, the substitute Jovic there was the one who received that. And that was there for Tadic on a plate, but was rising a bit. Never really going to trouble Gregor Kobel in goal. But appreciating the pass. So an hour now gone. It is Serbia 2, Switzerland 3. And I will, after this attack, I will check the Brazil-Cameroon game. Rodriguez to So. Sylvain Widmer. Zerdan Shaqiri. Passing it to Widmer, who's overlapped a little bit down the right. And Widmer will now have to run back. And he does. And a poor pass there, which could have found someone. Zivkovic there, the guilty party. Xhaka to Akanji now. All the way back to Gregor Kobel in the Swiss goal. And a foul there from Kostic, surely, yes. Widmer impeded. And Stojkovic at the moment isn't really happy. There's still no goals between Cameroon and Brazil, so I've covered the right match today. Fabian Schär passing it back to Kobel. Akanji. Rodriguez. That's sent forward, but Milenkovic can pass that back to his goalkeeper, who sends it forward a little bit. And Swiss throw, much to the chagrin of the well, he might have a point there, because looks as though the last touch had come off Rodriguez, but you know, some of these decisions go against you, even with the technology. And that was a poor throw from Rodriguez there, straight to Tadic, who can go forward. Passes it to Mitrovic. Passes it back to Tadic. Finds Kostic on the left. And Kobel does a good job there, spreading himself to prevent that cross from finding an attacker coming there. So the shot probably wasn't the best anyway. An attempted cross didn't really have the elevation on that. And now Switzerland can continue to break. Freuler. So, some emotions here. Shaqiri back to Vidma. Trying to send it forward, and Manya will deal with that. Serbia now playing out. It is with Sergej Milinkovic-Savic. Zivkovic on the right wing. Sasa Lukic. To Zivkovic again. Sergej. Sasa. To Pavlovic. Finds Mitrovic. And claims for a penalty being waved away. I wonder if that'll go to VAR. And Fabian Schär there just tending to his fellow Premiership player. Might be suffering from a bit of cramp. And the referee coming back over there, could he possibly check that? Well, Mitrovic did take a bit of a fall, but it was probably really a belated fall. Any kind of contact from Fabian Schär was really only belated in the end, really. But Schär did get a hand on his shoulder. And there's a lot of controversy going on right now. And has VAR been called? Well, and Stojkovic has come onto the field trying to calm his Serbian players down, and one of the Serbian players has received a yellow card. It's all happening out there. Wonder who the unfortunate soul will be. And clearly, there's a lot of niggling going on, a lot of shoving, and a lot of talking, definitely. And it's the backup goalkeeper, Predrag Rakovic, who's been booked. And Stojkovic is now back in his technical area. I think it's fair to say that there is no penalty check because there is no penalty worth checking. And the referee basically telling everyone to clear off, move away. Let's get on with the game. And that will be sort of kicked out of play for a Serbian throw. And there'll be another substitution. Sergej Milinkovic-Savic is coming off, and it will be Nemanja Maksimovic, number 6, who will be coming on. Sergej has a pass completion rate of 78%, having run 8.9 kilometers. Decent stint for him, but I think Dragan Stojkovic has decided that he needs to have someone a little bit more fast and attacking. And certainly needs someone with better ball control because that's gone out for a Switzerland throw. Sylvain Widmer now with the throw at the midway point in the first half, and Switzerland are making a substitution now. Wonder who will be coming. It will be Jibril Sow who will be coming off for the Swiss number 2, Edmilson Fernandez. And Shaqiri is also coming off for the number 6, Dennis Zakaria. Zakaria, of course, playing for Chelsea in the English Premier League. So Shaqiri certainly had a magnificent game so far. scorer of the first goal via deflection, and also playing a very big part in the second. Had a fine stint today. Deserves his rest. And the throw is taken now. And that goes out for another Swiss throw. And the Serbians are being forced to retreat. Coming up to the best part of 20 minutes left. It's all about who dares, and whoever dares wins. It's sent all the way forward, but Akanji can clear that. And Vidma wins the throw off Tadic. Right, Yakin looks quite satisfied. He knows that even if they concede another goal, they'll still go through. They just can't afford to lose the game. Pavlovic now has the ball. It is with Jibril Sal right now, who tries to pass it through to the penalty area. Doesn't quite win the corner, and Fernandez is able to clear that very well enough indeed. And Serbia now down the right. Sasa Lukic, Pavlovic. And once again, another attack goes begging, and it looks as though the defense has done a pretty good job in choking Mitrovic of any kind of supply. Fabian Schär certainly settled down and played quite a good game. Gregor Kobel right now with the goal kick. Sending it fairly long. That was quite long. And Zakaria wasn't able to get that. And Mitrovic is free down the left. Does he score? No, he doesn't. Finds the Swiss defense like a train hitting the buffers. Zakaria, now it's Embolo who is able to run with that. Granit Xhaka finds Freuler down the left. Actually, that's Ruben Vargas down the left, my bad. Granit Xhaka. And doesn't quite win a corner there, but could possibly say that the header slowed that ball down. Filip Kostic. Pavlovic. And there was Tadic there, passing it to Ilic. Tadic again with Ilic, who passes it to the substitute Jovic, I think. No, that was Maksimovic, really. It's back with Lukic, who tries to take it forward. It's back with Maksimovic now, who does have a decent shot on him. And headed away by the Switzerland defense. So about 18 minutes to go. Switzerland are still holding on to their lead, but they also know that they're more than capable of getting that lead increased. Take a look at the still no goals between Cameroon and Brazil. Probably a bore fest for the most part, really. Pavlovic playing it forward. Mitrovic. And Zakaria can play it forward to Embolo, but Embolo loses it. Wonder who. I mean, it's not really like me to, sort of phase out a little bit. Had a really long day. Haven't had my customary nap in between. And now, of course, trying to work on this coverage. And Zakaria wins it back, passes it to Ruben Vargas. Forced back in a way, and Ricardo Rodriguez can try and send it forward if he can. He does, finds Embolo. And instead of playing the advantage, the referee decides to award a free kick for that rather stupid, needless foul by Gudel on Embolo. Any more comments? Yeah, well, apparently we've got some trolls in here. And, yep. Well, no need to deal with that anyway. Vidma now. To Fernandez, back to Vidma. And Fernandez is slotted in quite well on the right. Probably looking to overlap himself while Vidma goes into more of a defensive position. Zakaria to Akanji. Ruben Vargas. Freuler. Finds Granit Xhaka. And some good interception work there from Jovic. And Serbia can clear. So 15 minutes to go, plus stoppages. And that will be a Serbian throw. So not as many goals as in the first half, but certainly a great deal of strategy. And you see the Serbian fans looking on rather glumly, while the Swiss fans are quite delighted. Swiss fans also know that one more goal against them will really not matter that much. A draw should be enough for them. And it's Pavlovic who comes forward. Lukic, Maksimovic finds its way to Tadic. Ilic again, trying to play it forward. But this time the defense has been rather coalesced, if you will, and Serbia won't be able to find a way through. Certainly not that way. Actually, it is in the penalty area after that deflection, but a foul in the area means that that will be a Swiss free kick. So Jovic there pretty much coming into Zakaria quite aggressively there and sending him tumbling. And you can see the Serbian fans looking really glum. And there is another Serbian substitution coming up. Actually, there are two. It will be the number 7, Radonjic, Nemanja Radonjic, and Filip Juricic, who will be coming on. Maybe after this passage of play, of course. And Rodriguez winning the throw off Maksimovic, and Switzerland can continue to consolidate. So Granit Xhaka there getting a bit of a tussle with Maksimovic there. But Rodriguez saying, well, you want to do that, you're going to concede a throw. And Tadic passes the captain's armband to Mitrovic as he goes off to be replaced by Filip Juricic and, of course, Nemanja Radonjic. And it's the number 14, Andrija Zivkovic, who's gone off as well. Zivkovic, of course, has had a good game on the right for Serbia, but Dragan Stojkovic says it's time for some fresh legs and maybe a fresh approach as they try to get a goal or two in the next 12 minutes plus stoppages. Sort of sideways thrown out, if you will, to Pavlovic, who passes that, and Serbia can be on their way. And Serbia still on the attack. Cut out once again. Maksimovic to what looks like Jovic. Kostic. And Pavlovic can try and run in, but no room for him. And basically, out of desperation, they seem to be committing a lot more fouls. And Shah looks a little bit in pain. Does Murat Yakin take him off? So far, Gregor Kobal's had a decent game. Not really at fault for both the Serbian goals. Made some decent blocks as well. Then you get long, the goal kick. And it's with Granit Xhaka now. And needless foul there from Sasa Lukic. Basically falling into Granit Xhaka, if you will. And that is, of course, a free kick to Switzerland with 10 minutes to go, plus stoppages. And Juricic there sustaining a bit of a cut on his cheek. And clearly, the rules state that you cannot play with blood on your body. You've got to have that fixed, and then you'll be let back in. And it was Freuler there who sort of made that happen. So until you are fit, you will not be brought back on. But basically, it's a sort of a play where the ball is passed to the goalkeeper. And that's sort of taken out of play. But another foul here from the substitute Nemanja Gudel, and he will also miss Serbia's next match if they qualify. Sort of pulling Embolo down, really, and Serbians are playing a rather dirty game here. You can see that they're sort of trying to resort to some rough housing and just some cheap tackles, really. And I think they sense that qualification might be beyond them now, but again, you just never know. About 2 people standing over this Switzerland free kick, and more yellow cards are being distributed. The same color as that of the referee's shirt. If they're not careful, they might end up receiving a card the same number of their own shirts, the Serbians. Alexander Mitrovic going into the book there. And that free kick wasn't really going to trouble the goalkeeper, or was it? It was Akanji who took that, and that went straight into the side netting. And the goalkeeper, Milinkovic Savic, having to rush out. And he can try and pass that forward. Starting to peter out a little bit. And once again, I do apologize for the radio silence and the video silence. Switzerland have made another substitution. Ruben Vargas is coming off. 9.8 kilometers run. An excellent stint for him. And he is being replaced by the very German-sounding Christian Fasnacht. Of course, lest we forget, both German and French are spoken in Switzerland, in addition to English. And I remember having the pleasure of visiting Zurich one time, definitely going to see the Lindt chocolate factory. That was, of course, while I was on transit on my way back to the US. Dragan Stojkovic there watching his team's World Cup hope slowly slipping away. And Serbia now going to try and continue to play back, from the back rather. Don't have very long, just 6 minutes plus stoppages. I'll take a look and see the still no goals between Cameroon and Brazil. I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, I don't even know if Brazil were taking it easy, but it looks to me as though Cameroon have certainly been good value for their draw. But of course, a draw is simply not enough. Pavlovic, who plays it forward, but ends up getting intercepted. And I think it's fair to say that the Swiss substitutes who came on, especially in the midfield, have done a really good job of tightening themselves up and not leaving too many gaps. Pavlovic now playing it forward. And Rodriguez now shepherding that out for a goal kick, and he does that quite successfully, despite Radonic's attempts to try and ward him off. Well, certainly a patched-up Swiss team without their first-choice goalkeeper and one or two other players, but they've acquitted themselves fairly well. And now with 5 minutes to go, plus stoppages, it's still Serbia 2, Switzerland 3. Goal kick set long. Vanya passes out to Gudel, who can try and run forward with that. That's passed all the way to once again, more radio silence from my side. I do apologize. It's been a tiring day. And Switzerland are still trying in vain to break through the stubborn Swiss defense and midfield, not really succeeding. And you can see there with an important block like that, Edmilson Fernandez has really slotted in quite well in that part of the defense. Jovic, though, with a nice through ball to Sasa Lukic, and that is cleared. And another pass back to Vanya, who passes it to Gudel. And once again, Switzerland can intercept and try and play that forward. Are they in any hurry to get a fourth goal? A fourth goal will certainly be welcome if they can get it. Certainly put the match beyond Switzerland's reach. Akanji. Xhaka. Vidma. Fernandez. Vidma. Xhaka. Fernandez. Switzerland can now come away down the left. Xhaka almost strolling with the ball, really. With 2 minutes to go, he doesn't feel the need to possibly do too much, and he's fouled by Sasa Ilic. So the more fouls that Serbia keep committing, the worse it will get for them, because they will slowly but surely run out of time. And as I speak, there are 2 minutes left plus substitutions. So, yeah, just a basic case of him pulling or pushing Xhaka down. You cannot do that. Fernandez. Vidma. And once again, with my telly on mute, I really don't know if I've missed anything, but it is still with Switzerland now, and they're doing a good job of keeping the ball. Even whenever Serbia have been able to try and get the ball and launch an attack, they've been solid and professional in keeping it out. Nice through pass there from Fernandez. And Milinkovic-Savic has to come out and deny Roman Freuler, I think it was. Yep, that was Freuler who was let through. But Fernandez proving his worth there with a fine crossfield pass. The only question is, was Freuler offside? Actually, that wasn't Freuler. That was the other substitute, Fashnacht, who's come on and made a nuisance of himself. The only question is, was he offside? Into the last 30 seconds of normal time. Stoppages, of course, will be added. And certainly this game has been the better game of the two we've got here tonight. But obviously, there'll be a lot of jangled nerves, frayed nerves, and so forth. Yep. Once again. It's as if I have to keep talking, otherwise I will fall asleep. But really don't want to utter any kind of gibberish, you see. And now stoppage time will be added. We're going to find out how many minutes are on the clock. As Filip Kostic tries to cross that in, but that is easily cleared away. 7 minutes. 7 minutes if you're a Sweek fan. A free kick floated in. And Bolo with the ball now. And all the way to Xhaka, who passes it to the substitute Fastnacht, who runs down the left into the penalty area. And sort of forced back in a way, but it is with Granit Xhaka again. Rodriguez. Akanji. Vidma. Edmilson Fernandez. Back to Vidma. Sends it to Mbolo, who is able to shake off his attacker. And I'm sure a fourth goal will really, make Switzerland more comfortable. But Kostic now pushing Edmilson Fernandez off the ball. And it is, in fact, a Serbian throw. So Fernandez has to move quickly. We'll be back defending before you know it. Vanja Milinkovic-Savic now running with the ball. Sending it forward. And that floats over the Swiss goal. And that might be one of the last chances Serbia will get to possibly get something out of this game. Good work down the right. A glancing header there from the substitute Jovic, and flying harmlessly over Gregor Kobel's goal. Doesn't really even need to jump for that, to be honest. Well, there is another Swiss substitute. It will be the number 19, Noah Okafor, who will be coming on, and he will be, in all likelihood, replacing Breel Mbolo. Well, apparently there's an update from Chelsea fan. Cameroon have just scored. And there are, in fact, 9 minutes of stoppage time being played. But there's also a red card. So we're going to take a look at the highlights later on. I think we will see some good work here down the right, and a brilliant header there, which leaves Edison Moraes rooted to the spot. It's Captain Fantastic Vincent Aboubakar who, got that header. So I'm going to obviously change the scoreline there. It is Cameroon 1, Brazil 0. Vincent Aboubakar. 90 plus 2 minutes. And so, this not really a good look, this for Tite. Never imagined that his reserves would struggle to even get a draw against Cameroon. But now back to Serbia versus Switzerland. And there's a huge fight breaking out here. We're going to see what caused this. Clearly, the Serbians are desperate, trying to, get something out of the game. And well, Xhaka ends up receiving a booking for his pains. And I think he's lost his armband, has he? Or is it under his shirt? It is under his shirt. And clearly tempers are fraying at the moment. There is, of course, no love lost between these two teams. Certainly between players there. Nikola Milenkovic, the defender, has also just been booked. So one can imagine that there will be stoppages on top of these stoppages added. And it is, of course, yep, it is Briel Embolo who will be heading off. Another fine game today for him. That important equaliser just before the stroke of half-time. And another all-round good game for him. 9.1 kilometres, 1 goal, 2 shots on target. He is, of course, replaced by Noah Okafor. So 1.5 minutes left, and you assume that there will be at least another minute of stoppages. And that kick is set long into the Swiss penalty, Swiss half, but that harmlessly goes out for a Swiss throw. And a minute to go before the end of stoppage time, but you assume that because of that fight, there will be more added. So Serbia don't have too long. And of course, the thing about Cameroon's shock lead is that it means that they're on 4 goals. But again, Switzerland are also on 4. And fair play will probably come into it. But in addition, the head-to-head record between Switzerland and Cameroon is in favor of the Europeans, thanks to the Cameroonian-born Briel Embolo. So obviously I'm going to take a look and see how the group is affected. There's not too much time left now. Just refreshing everything now. And basically it was a shove by Milenkovic into Granit Xhaka. And you see now the Serbians just feeling a little bit tired right now. So we're going to take a look at what's the situation in Group G. At the moment, it really is sort of academic right now because Brazil and Switzerland will end on 6 points, really. Unless Serbia can get a goal to try and make things interesting. But it looks at this rate that Switzerland will be going through. Cameroon's win really only if they go on to win. If it stays that way, it'll be nothing more than a consolation. And Switzerland concede a free kick. 7 minutes, of course, were added on, but it will rise to at least 8 or maybe even 9. Who knows? Vanja Milinkovic-Savic now with a long kick. And that will be, hooked away, almost rugby style, if you will. And is that kept in play? Yes, it is. Well done, Vidma. But the danger isn't over yet. And a really, really, really rash challenge there from Fabian Schär. That will see him getting booked as well. So Serbia have an opportunity to tie things up and maybe It'd make things a little bit interesting, of course. But again, you would think that head-to-head record will have the final say here, unless, of course, Cameroon can conjure up a goal against Brazil. Whipped in by Filip Kostic on the left, but headed out, and Rodriguez trying to head that away. The referee chooses to play advantage, and it was Okafor who was trying to do it all on his own, but couldn't do so. 9 minutes have been played. Will there be a 10th? And it's Vidman now who is prevented from clearing that away. And Serbia, in fact, do have a free kick. So, obviously, following the fight, there have been some more minutes added on. Nicely floated in, but headed away. And that is wide from Radjanic, the substitute, the number 7. Is that the last kick? Is that effectively the end of Serbia's World Cup campaign? Not really getting it on target. And Gregor Kobel will now have the opportunity to send this kick as long as he possibly can. And the referee doesn't need to do that because the referee has blown his whistle. And at full time, the score is, the scores are, of course, Serbia 2, Switzerland 3, and Cameroon 1, Brazil 0. So Brazil and Switzerland both qualify with 6 points apiece. Roman Freuler getting what proved to be Sweden's winner in the 48th minute. And the Serbs obviously are disconsolate. Take a look at the other game. Has it finished yet? It has indeed finished, and I believe 1-0 is the score there. So Rigobert Song can be quite proud of his team for showing some fight and earning a creditable result. Although having said that, Brazil did, did put out a reserve team. Late drama, love to see that. Well done, Switzerland, a very good win indeed. And Zed V Bar, if you're still on, I hope you're really happy with the results now. And a terrific win, obviously, for Switzerland. And we're going to go through a few of the highlights. And once again, I will, invite people to come on the chat and have their say for the last few minutes of this stream. This is, of course, the link. If any of you want to click it or just copy and paste it into your browser, feel free to do so. Let's be having you, as we would say. So lots to discuss, obviously, as the group stage comes to a close. And we already know our 16 qualifiers, of course, from the groups. The last 2 have just been confirmed. Brazil pretty much already had their qualification confirmed in a way. All they needed was a draw. And of course, the Switzerland win helped out immensely because it meant that both teams finished on 6 points. No danger, of course, of Brazil not qualifying as group winners due to their head-to-head record, of course. Having said that, Brazil did score only 3. And of course, their goal difference has been the factor here. Scoring 3 and conceding only 1, whereas Switzerland scored, I want to say, 4, and ended up conceding 4. And I will, of course, share Some more updates from BBC Sport. Just refresh everything. Yep, Cameroon claim a famous win, but it's not enough to go through to the last 16 because Switzerland have won. Murat Yakin's team are in fact through to the last 16 after a pulsating victory over Serbia. Proud to have brought that contest to you. And so this is how the group stands. Brazil topping the group on goal difference. Switzerland, of course, qualifying as runners-up, leaving Cameroon and Serbia to wonder just what might have been. But now we know our qualifiers from Group A. It's the Netherlands and Senegal. And the Netherlands will be playing the USA, who finished as runners-up from Group B, and Senegal will be playing England, who finished as Group B winners. From Group C, it's Argentina and Poland. Argentina recovering magnificently from that shock defeat to Saudi Arabia to top their group with wins over Mexico and Poland, as I had in fact predicted. The cream rising to the top. The Saudi Arabians had in fact overachieved, didn't really look like doing much more. Poland and Mexico obviously having their own struggles. A goalless draw between them, and Mexico not quite doing enough to overtake Poland in the end. And so Argentina will be playing Australia, who finished runners-up in Group D, thanks to a fine victory over Denmark to go with their victory over Tunisia. This after being ripped apart 4-1 by France, who finished as group winners. France, of course, will be playing Poland. So what should have been a contest between Benzema and Lewandowski will have to be Mbappe versus Lewandowski, but that should be mouth-watering. And of course, it will be Lionel Messi against the might of Australia. Group E saw Japan and Spain go through. Japan with a dramatic win over Spain, and not without some controversy, it must be said, but a win nonetheless, which ensured that they would qualify as group winners. Spain proving that despite their outstanding 7-0 crushing of Costa Rica, they simply have a lot of weaknesses, and they probably wouldn't be favourites to go too far in the tournament, in my opinion. Germany, once again, completely disappointing, and Costa Rica, after a brave campaign, a brave recovery against Japan, ending up not quite doing too much against Germany and ending up bowing out. So Japan will end up playing Croatia, who finished runners-up in Group F, and the surprise group winners, Morocco, will play Spain. Two definitely mouth-watering clashes indeed. Belgium, shock elimination from Group F. Never really got to grips with things, and that shock loss to Morocco pretty much sealed their fate. And Canada, of course, first time back in the World Cup after 36 years. Was it 36? Yeah, 1986, I believe it was. They last took part. Certainly gave it their all and provided some fine moments, but they exited the tournament with 1 goal scored and 6 conceded. Actually, 2 goals scored and 7 conceded, if I'm wrong. Yeah. No, wait. Nope. 1 goal scored. Yeah, whatever. Memory shot today. Please forgive me, everyone. And of course, the 2 groups that have just been completed. Group H was completed earlier in the day in dramatic fashion with South Korea securing a magnificent win over Portugal to sneak into second, just ahead of Uruguay by virtue of having scored more goals. Uruguay, of course, were delighted and cock-a-hoop, dreaming of a potential clash with Brazil, only to end up suffering the agony of being knocked out in dramatic circumstances. Certainly the end of the international careers of the likes of Luis Suarez, Diego Godin, Fernando Muslera, Edson Cavani, among others. As for South Korea, Heung-min Son, their inspiration, with that terrific run from the Portuguese corner, setting up Hwang Hee-chan for that amazing dramatic winner. And Portugal's passage was already secured with 2 wins over both Ghana and Uruguay. And of course, Portugal will be playing Switzerland, who secured their passage into the second round with a fine win. And amazingly enough, Vincent Abubakar, after scoring that goal, ripped off his shirt and ended up earning a second yellow, which was a red card. So he ended up going into the books for all the wrong reasons, and certainly blood shed in the cause, if you will. And I think it's fair to say that Vincent Abubakar's goal for Cameroon against Brazil was one highlight of an otherwise, forgettable game. And of course, Brazil will be playing South Korea, certainly a titanic clash. Heung-min Son against the likes of Richarlison. The might of the Brazilian offense against some South Korean defense. Definitely something to look forward to. And of course, here is the complete last 16 lineup just for you. Certainly looking something to look forward to in the coming days. Games are, of course, coming thick and fast. And it's just been absolutely frenetic. It's been fast. It's been furious. It's been exciting. And I'm really glad to have been able to watch that and bring it all to you. And I really want to thank all of you for joining in. Let's see any more comments. Yep, good stream. See you next time. Bye-bye. Well, once again, we don't really have any people clicking in, so I will be ending it in the next 2 minutes or so. But that's been pretty much it. It's been amazing. It's been fun. It's been really good so far, and I want to thank all of you once again for tuning in. And I've already shown you, of course, the completed last 16 lineup. And in the coming days, it'll certainly promise to be absolutely frenetic. So no real need to go over the highlights, of course. Actually, since they're on now, we can take a look at them. Excellent work from Rodriguez for the first goal down the left. Found Jibril Sow in the penalty area, who laid it off for Xherdan Shaqiri, who slotted it home thanks to a deflection. Serbia came back into it, though, through Alexander Mitrovic. A brilliant cross there from Kostic. Found the head of Mitrovic, who glanced it brilliantly beyond Gregor Kobel, the replacement goalkeeper. And Serbia were back in it. And Serbia ended up going ahead through Dusan Vlahovic. Pretty poor defensive play again, letting Vlahovic in. Tadic again, very much at the heart of that. And Serbia were dreaming at that point. But then, just before half-time, their hopes came crashing back to earth. A brilliant assist from Sylvan Vidma finding Breel Embolo. He made it 2-2 just before half-time. And then, of course, a few minutes after half-time, the Roman Freuler goal. Great work there from Embolo once again. Shaqiri with a beautifully chipped pass. Vargas with a magnificent backheeled layup. And Roman Freuler finishing it off. The Swiss absolutely loved it. It was Swiss precision, fine Swiss craftsmanship at its best. And you can see the Swiss there celebrating with Murat Yakin, who never got to experience the joy of playing at a World Cup, but is now made up for that in a way by leading his Switzerland team as manager to the second round. And a mouth-watering tie against Cristiano Ronaldo's Portugal awaits them. And of course, a few of their players have been injured. Their starting goalkeeper, Jan Sommer, was unavailable. I do hope he will be back. And there's the huddle. And that's the another sign of a team really happy. No real heartbreak for Serbia as such, but I think it's fair to say that they, at least could be proud of having given it their all. They scored 5 goals, conceded 8, and just weren't quite able to, really take advantage of, their attacking prowess. So we could have a potential France versus England quarterfinal. Another quarterfinal could very well be Spain against Portugal or Switzerland. Brazil and Croatia could almost certainly meet, followed by Argentina and the Netherlands. But given the way shocks have been taking place in this tournament, I wouldn't put it past any of the other 8 teams to possibly have a say in what's going on. Senegal certainly looks to be back in form and could give England a run for their money. Japan, of course, will definitely fancy their chances. I just think that Croatia will have a lot more in terms of experience. Australia certainly are, riding high after qualifying, but they should come up against an Argentinian team that has just a bit too much quality. And the Netherlands have been really good in qualifying as group winners, but the USA have looked very impressive indeed. Look for that to be something to savor. And given how Poland were willing to just roll over and die against Argentina, can't really see them doing too much against an all-conquering French team. And there are many Moroccan players, of course, who've been schooled in the Spanish system and still play in La Liga. Brazil against Korea. Don't look beyond that. So the first second round stage will actually be tomorrow when the Netherlands play the USA. That will be at 3 p.m. GMT, 5 p.m. South Africa time, 8:30 p.m. where I am in India. And of course, you can definitely follow all these games here on the Coach's Corner. And on Sunday, it will be Argentina against Australia. Actually, there are 2 games, of course, being played tomorrow. But because, of course, where I'm based, it reads that it will be midnight my time, but it will actually be 7 p.m. GMT and 9 p.m. South Africa time. Both those games, Netherlands against the USA, Argentina against Australia, are tomorrow. And obviously, with those games having finished more than a few days ago, at least those 4 teams will have had more than adequate rest. Basically, it's the winners of Group A versus the runners-up of Group B, and the winners of Group C versus the runners-up of Group D. So, another day is over. The group stage is over. And now we focus on the main events coming up. So, that is pretty much it. Without further ado, I once again want to thank all of you for joining in. And we will, of course, be bringing you all those games over the weekend and the next few days on Coach's Corner and on Oris Talks Football. You will also catch me on Stephen S. Featley TV doing a few watch-alongs with him. And so far, it's been really good fun so far. I've enjoyed bringing it to you, and I want to thank all of you for joining in again. A final reminder that it says so on the ticker. We are presenting live coverage of this World Cup on this channel, but don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, click the bell button for notifications, and make sure that you are up to date with what is going on here. Terrific channel, terrific guy, terrific content. Happy to do some work, to do whatever work I can with him, and it's been nothing but fun. So thanks once again to everyone who's joined in the chat. Obviously, onto the ball, Football Ferreira, ZV Bar. I'm really happy that you were able to chat with me, and thanks a lot for coming in. Mystic Werewolf, of course, Chelsea fan, and yeah, it's been a good stream once again. Wonderful to have had all of you in the chat. Hopefully, I'll get to speak to some of you in person very soon. But until then, thanks a lot for joining in. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. And for now, from the Coach's Corner, this is Manny Thangadurai, and I am out.